Stopwatch, 3, 2, 1, go! Create a new software instrument, change that synth to the sampler, drag in the Spins 808, which is a famous 808 sample. Sounds pretty good. Click on synth and let's make its release a little bit longer. That'll do the trick. And that bass goes like D, 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 C sharp, C sharp, C sharp, B, 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 G, 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 G. Just about. Command A to select all the notes. Q to quantize, so now they're perfectly in time. With all the notes selected, click Option and Shift and edit the velocity of the notes, so they all have the same velocity now. And don't forget to change the BPM to 107. Just over 5 minutes. Not a bad start. Command D to duplicate that track. Option, click and drag it down. Shorten to just the first note. Change this note to a C sharp. Control B to bounce it in place. Mute the old track and go region, more, reverse. So we have a reverse 808. Drag that to the start. And we can fade this in to the first note. And maybe chop off the end a tiny bit. That sounds great. That's quite a trap influence right there. 7 minutes, 18 seconds. Let's keep that up. Create a new software instrument. Change the synth to retro synth. Jump to one of my favorite presets, Synth Pad's Chill Out Pad. It's a good starting point. Just edit that filter down and bring up its sustain and release a tiny bit. And click on EQ and put a low pass filter on it. Beautiful. That'll work. Option, click and drag across that spins bass twice more and our sync goes like D, C sharp and E, B and F sharp, B and D, G, A, D and maybe B, C sharp and E, B and F sharp, A and D, G and D. It's quite difficult to pick out the exact texture that's being played, but I think this is pretty close. And let's throw that bus 3 that's already on the track, but EQ out some of its low frequencies just in case. Reverb always helps. Command S to save. 14 minutes, 48 seconds. That's a pretty good start. But now onto the most important sound. Create a new software instrument. Change that synth to Alchemy. Search leads, 70s analog synth lead. I think we can make that work. Longer decay, but shorter sustain. Bring down the cutoff, no delay, and edit the oscillator there. That's pretty close. And that goes like D, 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 C sharp, D, C sharp, C sharp, D, B, C sharp, D, B, C, G, D, E. Hard to say and play at the same time. Q to quantize those. And watch out for that fourth note each time the chord plays. It hits just before the bass, which gives it a really cool rhythm. Nice. Command or to duplicate that synth across. Make the notes a tiny bit longer and make sure there's a good bit of bus reverb on that as well. Option C, color the synth blue, chill out pad, darker blue, and the bass can be red. 21 minutes, 5 seconds. There's so much still left to do. Starting to get a bit worried. Create a new audio track. We need our acoustic guitar and a microphone and record in the guitar. Definitely room for improvement. Pan that one left. Command D to duplicate the track. Pan this one right. Woo! Tidy those up, chop it, and move it into time. Command D and put this one down the middle. They're a little bit rough, so you can hit flex pitch, turn on flex, change from slicing to rhythmic, and then we can search in, click on our transients, and move them perfectly into time. Shift click, Shift Command G to put those in a guitar group, and definitely put a bit of our bus reverb on that group. Option, click and drag it across, and we can make sure they're faded in between each other. And maybe EQ the really wide ones to have a tiny bit less of the high frequencies. Okay, we can work with that. 27 minutes, 6 seconds. Nearly halfway there. Command D, that guitar group. Pan the wide ones to 40 and 40. We need our plectrum and record in. And the second half. Comp those together. Do the same with the second one. And one more time. Ooh, that's pretty tricky. Could have definitely done with a capo. Let's put this away. Click on the A and we can flatten those comps. Option, click and drag those across to the right place. And we can make sure they're faded in on the right section as well. Whew, okay, that was pretty rough, but we got there. And create a new bus, 30, where we bring in modulation, chorus. Let's go for the preset Guitar Summer. brings out that beautiful stereo image. 35 minutes, 52 seconds. It's going to be tough to get to all of these sounds. Create a new software instrument, change from electric piano to ultra beat drum machine, go to our preset drum kits, Boutique 909, and we can edit that envelope of the kick. Sounds pretty good. And our kick goes like kick, 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 which is the same rhythm as the 808. Cue to quantize those, shift, option, and then the 2-finger click to change the velocity, which makes all their velocities the same level. And we can edit the sustain and decay of the kick to match up with the 808. And Command or that MIDI region across. 37 minutes, 19 seconds. That's a lot better. Let's keep that up. Create another software instrument, white open up the library, electronic drum kits, after party. And our clap goes like clap, 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 clap. Edit that MIDI region and Command or across. An option click and drag down that clap to a snare hit, and let's make that hit slightly after. And bring down its velocity. We're starting to go in the right direction. 39 minutes, 33 seconds. 33. Hard to say. In order to get a little bit more rim shot, create a new software instrument, drum kit, producer kits, Sunset Plus, option click and drag down the after party MIDI, delete one row and move that MIDI down to the side stick. And we can make that hit a tiny bit early. That rim shot lasts a bit too long. We can open up the sunset and mute the overheads and room sounds. Or you could also go dynamics, noise gate, bring down that threshold so it's really short. With it off and on. Just a really small change. That sounds pretty good. 41 minutes, 35 seconds. And thankfully, we're starting to groove. Grab that second half, option, click and drag it across. Create an audio track. O to open up the loop browser. Click on instrument, tambourine. Scroll down to Quincy Tambourine 16ths. Drag that in. Pretty good. Command D that track. Search for shakers. Down to Quincy Shaker 16ths and drag that in. Turn it down in volume, and those only come in for the post-chorus. Option hyphen to put in markers. Chorus, post-chorus. Option C, color those different colors. Have the tambourine even quieter than the shaker. The shaker's just a little bit above it. Shakers and tambourines always add extra groove. 45 minutes. Okay, we're making great progress. Create a new software instrument. White open up the library. Studio strings. Section instruments. Abbey Wood. They sound amazing. And that filing goes D, D, C sharp, A, B, G. And keep those velocities relatively low. It's quite gentle. Command or that MIDI region across. And in that second region, drag in an F sharp and an E at the end there. And keep their velocities pretty low. And while we're here, draw in the bass melody line as it goes across. Add in some of our bus reverb. Beautiful. Command or that across. And don't forget to add in the bass in the first MIDI region. 48 minutes, 29 seconds. Let's keep that pace up. Create a new software instrument. White open up the library. Search organ, church door organ. And record in DAD. Hold it, then drop the C sharps. B, B, D, G, and D. Woo, that was dodgy. Add a tiny bit of bus reverb stat, turn down its volume, and command or across. The organ in this track is being used as like a texture foundation that everything else is built on top of. With the organ off, lots of space, and it's back in. Having a better texture gives it so much warmth. It's super simple, but it makes a huge difference. Under 10 minutes left, so on to our favorite thing. Create audio track, Vox double A. Dancing with my eyes closed, 'cause everywhere I look, I still see you. A bit rough, but we can make that work. Command D, Vox double B. Up the octaves this time. And time is moving so slow, and I don't know what else that I can do. Whew, that's a bit high. Just over 5 minutes left. Command D, jump to the second half for BVA. And I'm not going to pronounce any of the S's here, as they'll build up and sound horrendous. Command D, BVB. Bit better that time. Command D, let's do a few more. Whew, needs a bit of work. So double click, turn on flex, and go to flex pitch, scroll to the notes, Command A to select the notes, double click to pitch correct, and we can bring down the vibrato. And you can scale quantize to D major as well to make sure all the notes are in that key. And do that a few more times. You can also 2-finger click to chop it in half. Let's pan these around the head to give them nice stereo width. Shift click to the top, shift command G to create a vocal group. Let's see how it sounds with some reverb on it. And maybe some of that buzz chorus as well. Nice. Okay, quickly into the last minute. Take the end of this double vocal, Control B to bounce it in place. Put the bus reverb on the track, full dry and a tiny bit of the wet. Control B one more time with reverb on it. Region, more, reverse, and move it to the end of that post chorus and just chop off its end. It'll have to do because it's time! Boom! Ooh. Well done, Ed. We can always learn a lot from the production on Ed's tracks. They're always such a great example of how to support the lead vocal without getting in its way. And don't forget, you always have the option of throwing texture in your tracks. It can quite often be the core component that gels everything in together. So definitely give it a go. Alright, will we sing the lead vocal live? To be rude not to. Here we go!
Just dancing with my eyes closed, 'cause everywhere I look I still see you, and time is moving so slow, and I don't know what else that I can do, so I'll keep dancing with my eyes closed, so I'll keep dancing with my.
I'd highly recommend checking out how to make Shape of You next. It has a lot of tricks on how to make your acoustic guitar into a drum machine. So go on, check it out. It'd be rude not to. Hope you're keeping well. Cheers.